Like a lot of gamers out there, I was really disappointed with Destiny 2 for a lot of different reasons.
Disappointed!
Many things we loved and enjoyed in the first game was removed, nerfed, or changed in a negative way. These things range from slower time to kill in PvP, longer ability and super cooldowns, sluggish movement speeds, and ultimately a very shallow character progression system. Tied very close to that is the loot system, which doesn't compel you enough to actually do the activities in the game. Feeling let down, I looked outward. I tried Diablo 3, I tried Warframe, and I just end up playing more Overwatch and get salty.
You should seriously chill, dude.
Fucking piece of shit motherfucker, man.
But then, Monster Hunter World entered my life. So far it's been a blast and I've poured in close to 50 hours into the game. Comparing the two made me realize that there are tons of stuff that Destiny 2 can learn from Monster Hunter World, but there are also a few things that Monster Hunter World can borrow from Destiny 2 to make the game a better experience. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Monster Hunter World has some meaningful loot. In Destiny 2, the stuff you get from just doing regular activities perform the same, if not better than the one you get for doing endgame activities such as the Raid and Trials of the Nine. There isn't enough significant perks or big changes to the way these endgame guns behave to make me swap from my Uriel's gift to something else. And it's even worse for armors. Bungie has removed any sort of ability cooldown perks and stats from armors that they just end up feeling like costumes instead of functional gear you wear to combat. Contrast that with Monster Hunter World, where each armor set is valuable and choosing one over the other could mean life and death for you. Sure, you'll choose an armor set that looks good, but its function in combat also plays a big role, and the same goes to the weapons, which perform wildly different from one type to the other. Monster Hunter respects your time as a player. The monsters you slay in Monster Hunter World rewards you with materials which are used to craft gear. There is an element of RNG, as each material has a rarity value to them, and on top of that, certain materials only drop when you break certain parts of the monster. So, when you are chasing a specific gear, you know exactly which monster you have to hunt down and how to take them down. This gives you the feeling that you're progressing and you're constantly working towards a goal. In Destiny 2, there is no real chase for loot. There isn't really any specific gear that is, oh my god, amazing, I must have it, that would make you win or lose a match. But for the sake of argument, let's say you really want the Warcliffe coil. There is literally no direct path to that particular gear other than to just spam every single activity in the game with the hope that the weapon will drop for you. Some people may get it on their first exotic drop, and some people are still looking for it hundreds of hours into the game. Players are at the mercy of the almighty RNGesus. And it's an exhausting process to go through just for a piece of gear. It feels like Bungie doesn't properly reward the time we put into the game, and that feels bad, man. Hunting monsters is a repetitive activity, but enjoyable and varied. In both games, you'll reach a point where you've done all the content in the game and you're left to replay those content again and again to grind for loot. The biggest advantage Monster Hunter has over Destiny is their mission design allows for more randomness and variety. So let's say you hunt down an Anjanath and suddenly a freaking Basil Geese comes into the frame, raining down bombs and just causing havoc. And on top of that, the monsters spawn in different parts of the map most times, which makes it more interesting. Whereas in Destiny, every mission you do plays out exactly the same way, every time. Sure, some nightfalls have different modifiers and some strikes will spawn in different types of enemies, but ultimately you'll be going through the same hallways and corridors the same way each and every time. And for a game that you're supposed to play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, it really hurts the replayability when you don't see anything new. Monster Hunter does not have loot boxes. Hallelujah! These days, it's very rare to find a game without a loot box system in place, so it's a real treat to dig into Monster Hunter, which has a lot of meat and content in the game, and not a single one aspect of the game had a whiff of microtransaction. Every piece of weapon and armor and item you find, you had to work for it to get it, not by pressing the buy button. On the other hand, Destiny 2 is severely crippled by its in-game capitalist war profiteer,
Eververse Company.
It doesn't just affect a single part of the game, it affects the whole entire game and all of its moving parts. Haven't you noticed how nerfed the armors are in the game? How butt ugly some of the armors you get in the game look like? Haven't you noticed how a lot of the cool rewards like ships and shaders, the ones you get just from playing the game, is now behind an ever worse paywall? This microtransaction system is flawed, dangerous, and preys on gamers with gambling tendencies. I seriously fear for the future of Destiny and all other lootbox-centric games. Now, enough with the Destiny bashing. As much as I am disappointed with how Destiny 2 turned out, there are a lot of redeeming qualities in the game that a lot of other games can benefit from it, especially regarding the social aspects and mission structure. First off, Destiny 2 makes it super easy to group up for a mission. Monster Hunter World is undeniably a more enjoyable game when played with other people, friends or strangers alike. But what's frustrating is how unnecessarily difficult it is to actually do so. Destiny 2's matchmaking is really streamlined and hassle-free. Looking to do a strike? It will load you into a matchmaking screen automatically, and once you're in a group, you'll stick in the same group until you disband. Beyond that, Monster Hunter should borrow a page from Destiny's social spaces. It's an elegant way to make the game feel alive and to show off your characters and check out other people. The best part about these types of games are the bragging rights. You want to show off your brand new armor and brand new weapon that you just got. So having this MMO light feature will be great for that. Destiny 2's endgame is more clear and well defined. For all the faults I give Destiny 2 about its lack of variety, your progression to endgame is definitely one of the more exciting and satisfying journey in modern gaming. It ramps up naturally, and you are constantly being pulled into the next tier of activities, so there will always be something new on the horizon. It all culminates to the game's raid activity, an endgame mission that will take hours and sometimes even days to complete. It's a real test of all the skills you've accrued throughout the game, and the feeling of pride and accomplishment you get after finishing a raid is unrivaled. But these two games share similar DNA and both can be even better if they learn from each other. As heartbreaking as Destiny 2 was to me, the game still has tremendous potential that can be fulfilled if it just opened up and learned from other loot-based action RPGs. And it's not just Monster Hunter that's kicking Destiny's ass. There's The Division, which put out a positively received patch that improved the game immensely. There's Warframe, which is still going strong, defying people's expectation for a free-to-play game. And on the horizon, there's Anthem, which we don't know much about, but it looks really good. So hopefully with more healthy competition in this growing genre/game type, Destiny as a franchise will continue to grow and flourish along with veterans like Monster Hunter. In the meantime, excuse me while I grind Diablos for some of that majestic horn.